All right. Hello and welcome to Freedom Through Astrology. And my notes just got all messed up. We're giving you the keys. I'm your astrologer. My name is Donald Patak. It's my contact information, standard YouTube copyright. I apologize if I'm not my usual bundle of energy and all that. Aside from crazy work schedule. A friend of mine, I found out that a friend of mine passed on. So I'm behind on everything. And the energy level is just honestly not there. But I'm going to do everything because, it's fine. All right. So, okay, here we are. All right, keys to the reading. Freedom Through Astrology, giving you the keys to having a successful week. And as I'm doing this recording, you're going to notice things are different from what you would hear in mainstream astrology, and I'd like you to know why. First of all, I read what's called constellational astrology or true sidereal. Uh, Basically, I'm reading astrology by the visible sky, the way the ancients practice it. Tropical astrology fixed the signs to seasons during the Roman era. I don't live in ancient Rome, and neither do you. So why bother reading it that way? I use the natural size of the constellations. There are astrologers that try to make every constellation the same size. In the visible sky, Scorpio is actually less than 25 degrees. Virgo is just under 50 degrees. I mean, the constellations are all different sizes. So you're going to notice that. I use astrological midpoints, and Athan Shimenti is the one who created that system. And the reason he did is because when the IAU drew the boundaries, they just drew them arbitrarily. And he noticed that the border for us for Ophiuchus, when he looked at the stars, the earliest stars in the border, their name had Scorpius in them, which means that technically the sun was still in Scorpio, or whatever planet was there was in Scorpio still. So um, he came up with a midpoint system where he looked at the zodiac belt. Here's the last star of the constellation A. Here's the first star of constellation B. What's the halfway point? It makes sense. It's logical. And you heard me talking about the next point a little bit of Fucus. There are actually 13 signs in the sky if you're looking at the zodiac belt, because you have Scorpio, and then you have Sagittarius, and then there's this gap between them. What's that gap? Ophiuchus, the wounded healer. It's where you um, have a wound. It's a man. The symbol is a man holding a snake by the head and tail, which means knowledge. That's the ancient symbol of a snake meant. So you're gaining knowledge and using it to heal yourself so you can heal others with similar wounds. So that's the aim there. And I have cats in my yeah, Joyce. So there you go. Um, this is the weekly edition. So we're no, don't. Oh gosh. So this is the weekly edition. So these are the universal lessons for everyone and what we're all facing at this moment. So have a little compassion on your fellow Earth travelers. I read evolutionary astrology, which says that these are lessons to learn. You have freedom of choice. There is none of this fatalism stuff where these planets mean this and means you're fated to face a disaster. No, they're actually teachers, and there's lessons to learn, and you can choose the lesson, how you're going to learn the lesson, whether you're going to have the high road or the low road. Okay, hold on a second. Okay, you got something on you, and I'm just trying to get it out. There we go. I have cats on my lap again, by the way. So there we go. So it's about learning the lessons. And if you don't, what's the consequence of not learning them? The dates and times are based on the Eastern U.S. time zone. I try to time things out properly, and I'm reading things within 1 degree. So, yeah, oops, an important message here. Hold on a second. My friend's daughter, I get to play dad to her. So when she sends me a message, I like to respond. You learn the value of relationships the hard way sometimes. Back to this, within 1 degree. So I'm reading the constellation, I'm reading the planets when they're within 1 degree of each other. I could use a wider, what they call orb or number of degrees, but that would be overwhelming for me because sometimes it's going to be way too much information. If I'm overwhelmed, you can be lost. So I like to keep it a little simpler, makes it more manageable. So here's what we have for the week of December 9th through 15th. The sun is in Ophiuchus right now. So it's about healing your core identity and healing who you are, healing the ego. And yes, I will use the E word. You have an ego. You came here to learn to have a healthy ego, not kill it, heal it. The moon. The moon is in Pisces. We'll start the week in Pisces, and it will go with Pisces, Aries, Taurus, and Gemini. This Gemini is really going to be only on Sunday and late on Sunday at that. So this moon journey is actually a little misleading. It's a little bit less than what it looks like. On Sunday, we will have the full moon in Taurus, and that will be early in the day at that. So yeah, probably sometime after sunrise. I can't remember. But yeah, our active planet this week is Mercury. Lesson to learn. Learning and communication. That's what Mercury is all about. Are you learning? Are you paying attention? Are you listening? Are you communicating? Very important. The aspects are being made to Venus, Mars, the North Node. Those are kind of secondary actions, I would say. Our power transit of the week, both Venus and Pluto, Venus at the beginning, Pluto at the end, are making aspects to the North Node. The North Node is your evolutionary intention and purpose for this lifetime. So do look to see what it is, and then how does the North Node in Pisces relate to that? It's going to be very important. Station direct, yes, very important. Mercury has been retrograde for one of its many times this year. It will be station direct at the end of this week. So if you feel a little caught in a fog on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday-ish, that's why. I think it's Saturday. We'll look. And that will reduce our retrograde planets to Jupiter, Uranus, and Chiron. And retrograde merely means reflection. So Jupiter, opportunity, reflecting. Are you taking your opportunities? Uranus is individuality. Are you being your authentic self? And Chiron's about healing. Are you healing? And, okay, come on, toes. There you go. My 12-year-old cat. So there we go. So let's take a look at our week. Let me pull this down here. And there we go. The sun is in Ophiuchus, like I said, and it's a steady week. The nice thing about this week is that the transits are steady throughout the week, and you get a couple of days with the moon. So you start with a couple of days. It's a lot slower than what it sounded, and like I said, we don't go into Gemini until later on Sunday. If you're really going to talk about a busy day of the week, that's going to be Saturday, and let me circle this here. The reason is, first of all, we do have Mercury retrograde. It goes station direct on Saturday, so you're feeling that. In addition, Pluto. We had a planet sign change. I forgot to throw that in on the previous slide. Normally I do. Pluto enters Capricorn. So transformation, doing the work of transformation. Rubber is going to meet the road, people. Time to do the big work. And on top of that, Pluto is in a sextile to the North Node. So let me clear all these drawings and let's get down to work. So this is our week. So beginning from last week, starting on Sunday, this is a relatively quick transit. It's Sunday and Monday, really. Venus in Capricorn is in a sextile to the North Node in Pisces. So remember, Venus in Capricorn is working on relationships. I mean, that's the simplest way of doing that. So building your relationships, work on relationships. Also, Venus can be creativity. My notes out here. There we go. So it also can be creativity. And this is a releasing sextile. So you're releasing things that are keeping away from your North Node in Pisces, your evolutionary intention, which is what? Learning to be present. So really you're learning to release the distractions so you can be in the present moment. Um, Really important lesson to learn. Nice cup of tea. Na zdrovia. To your health. Let me see, what do I have written here? Yeah, learning to work with others can help you find your purpose in life. So it's building those relationships and helping you find your purpose. Being present with them can help you as well. Learn to trust and do the work that you're called to do now, and pay attention to pay attention and look for those people who know their why. You know, why are they doing what they do? If you don't know your why, right now is a good time. You know, with that North Node in Pisces, is a good time to figure that out. And like I said, Venus doing the work of relationships. Now, the shadow here, Venus can be slick and manipulative, and in Capricorn, they can be a control freak. And the North Node in Pisces is ignoring your purpose. So you got to be careful about that. So just trying to control people, getting them to fulfill your life's purpose. Not a good thing to do. So what do I have here? Ignoring your purpose or putting the effort into living a fantasy or a lie leaves you doing meaningless work and living a meaningless life on that. Also trying to getting others to do your life work leaves you feeling empty. If you want to find value in your life, do your own work. So there we go. And we also have Sunday with the moon in Pisces. The moon, your emotional self, your soul is also, some people like to say that. And in Pisces, you're looking for inspiration, finding that emotional inspiration. And let's remember emotion, motion, energy in motion. And I just got a cat jumping on my lap, Joyce. Those of you who are first-time watchers, I have a lot of cats, and they like sitting on my lap in the wintertime because it helps them stay warm. So it's energy in motion. What's motivating you? Finding that inspiration and that gets you going emotionally. So seeking a vision for your life at this time. Growth can come through spiritual and personal spiritual practices. So this is looking to spirit for the inspiration. Very important. Now, the shadow of the moon is being moody. I haven't worked out the over-under on that, but it's being moody. So it's either acting that out or just shutting it down in any way. And in Pisces, it's falling into fantasy and living a lie, self-deception, etc. So slipping into fantasy and delusion leaves you feeling isolated and alone, not fulfilling a purpose, not living anything. It's kind of empty. And so here we are on Monday. Monday, we have the sun in Ophiuchus trining Chiron retrograde. So the sun in Ophiuchus is healing your core identity, your ego, whatever you want to call it. And Chiron is about healing. Interesting thing here, what makes this a little bit more powerful of a transit than it seems, is that Chiron is the modern ruler of Ophiuchus. So that's okay, Toes. There we go. I just got that thing off. Yeah, I don't know what that was. There we go. So you're learning to be present in that healing, and this is the trine. So this is an easy energy to work with, and so it's easy for you to heal the wounds and release them and let them go. Let's see, what do I have in my notes here? Learning to hear your core identity by being present can seem easier at this time. Pay attention to opportunities that may appear in dreams or through inspirational moments. Yeah, if you find those inspirational moments or those inspirational opportunities, take them. Missing this. Well, we all know egotistical. The sun can be the ego out of control and egotistical. It can be shining too bright or not wanting to shine at all. And the shadow of Ophiuchus is wounding and refusing to heal. So, yeah. And in Chiron is refusing to heal, wounding others. And Pisces is, again, that delusion. Wow, you okay, girl? Wow. Don't scratch yourself so hard. So this is really wounding and ripping those wounds open and deeper, and then trying to numb the pain and not healing. So missing the opportunity can lead to wounds and a desire to escape or numb the pain, possible to play the wounds out in the world and then withdraw and wallow in self-pity, which really blows, if you ask my opinion. So yeah. And that's a trine. Trines are easy energies. Little bit goes a long way. So a little bit of effort can lead to a lot of healing, or a little bit of effort it's like wearing banana peels. If you ever watch Bugs Bunny, you ever seen Bugs Bunny with those cartoons where they're like banana peels on ice? That's what this can be like. You know, you're skating towards a disaster fast. Tuesday, December 10th. Take a breath. Inhale. Remember to exhale. Repeat the process. Wednesday, we have Venus in Capricorn opposite Mars retrograde in Cancer. And remember, I said that Venus in Capricorn is about doing the work on relationships and creativity. Come on. Doing that work and yeah. And oppositions are about reflection and balance. So look at these relationships, and are they giving you the strength to help, take care of yourself? Are they nurturing for you? Ask yourself those questions and reflect on those questions. Are these relationships nurturing? Are they caring? And that's the ideal, is that you're doing this work of building these relationships, and you're balancing against that self-care and making sure that, that you're having both. Let's see. So balance time in relationships with self-care, spend time with people, or withdraw when you need to. I like the Ecclesiastes 3 that, was turned into that great song by Pete Seeger and the Byrds, and done so many times, turn. There's a time to be with people, and there's a time to be alone. So know that, know that time, very important. Pay attention to others who are tuned with their own needs and act on them. And also, are you being honest? I think that's a very important lesson to learn. Are you being honest with other people and with yourself and about your own needs? Tomorrow's weather, yeah, moving towards another snowstorm here in Western New York. Yay. So let's see. So yeah. Now in the shadow, slick and manipulative control. Okay, we're not growling at each other as cats. Venus in Capricorn, slick and manipulative control freak. Mars in Cancer, defensive and snippy. Or angry and defensive, whatever you want to do it. Or fear, fear is the shadow of Mars is fear, and it can come across as anger, or it can come across as fear. And the anger is, being it's going to be defensive. That's violent snippiness, etc. Or if you're falling into fear and cowardice, we all know that the crab can pull back into the shell and try to hide. And in a shadow of the opposition, this gets to be a tug of war. So you try to control people, and when they don't kowtow to your will, you get angry and defensive, or you hide and cry, basically. So let's see. What do I have in here? So be careful of trying to control and manipulate others, or become snippy and defensive, or invisible. Being out of balance can throw your inner and outer worlds out of alignment. And remember that retrograde is reflective, and Cancer can be indicative of the inner world in a way. So do pay attention to that. Find that balance point, if you will. Also on Wednesday, we have a quick transit here of Mercury retrograde in Scorpio sextiling Venus. So Mercury is reflecting on deep conversations and deep knowledge and learning. And what are you saying? How are you saying it? What else? And are you listening? Are you listening to there's what people say and what they're saying behind their words? And are you listening to the deeper message? That can be very important. And Venus in Capricorn, we just talked about building relationships. So, listen, what are your communication skills like in relationships? And this is a sextile, so there's an excitement or an interest here, but this is what we call a waning sextile. Venus and Mercury and Venus are closing in on each other. So this is about releasing. So you're releasing ideally you're reflecting on it and you're seeing what the blockages are in learning and communication that are keeping you from having good and building good relationships, and you're seeing it, you're noticing it, and you're releasing it and letting it go. That's an ideal here. Let's see what my notes here say. Reflect on how deep conversations listening can help improve relationships. Let go of the need for a quick answer. Mercury likes to be quick, so that deeper listening can be like, okay, let's listen here for a second. Let's take it slower. Paying attention to others can be more interesting. Do that work. If you're normally the one talking, be the one that listens and see how that really does things and change things. My bad. Let's go back one. No. There we go. Arrow keys work better. I got to get a new mouse. Now the shadow here, we all know Venus, or not, Venus can be, like we talked about it again, slick and manipulative, trying to control others, and with words. Mercury in Scorpio, that deep talk, lots of words, colorful words, certainly. Mercury in Scorpio could, working with Venus like that could be like using deep language and deep psychology to try to control people. I just thought of that. Wow. That didn't even come up in rehearsal. But yeah, using deep psychology and stuff to try to control, manipulate people, not going to work out. People are going to sense it, walk away. But talking at or past others, leave the empty conversations, looking like a control freak. Also using it, trying to use psychology or deep conversation, psychology and deep things like that can get you lost. Mercury in Scorpio can get so lost in the forest that it can't see the trees in front of them. So be careful of that as well. And then we said Wednesday, we have the moon entering Aries. You're up for cut it, cats. You're up for some emotional courage, ready to stand up and take action emotionally. So that's good. So, find courage and expect a little competition. Use it to strengthen yourself. So you're finding yourself being challenged with something, take it on. Take on that challenge. Handle it. You can do it if you work through it. That's what Aries is about, is learning courage and learning assertiveness. And I heard somebody say this, and I like to repeat it. There's a difference between being assertive and being an ass. Being the ass is the shadow of Aries, because the moon is moody, and Aries, falls into fear, anger, cowardice. It's ruled by Mars, so it's kind of similar in that respect. But falling into that fear and being moody about it, I mean, that's an emotional train wreck waiting to happen. But falling into fear and expressing it through anger to cowardice can feel like defeat. You can feel defeated. No victory in the shadow work, in the shadow here. Victory through shadow work, yes. And learning from it, yes. But victory from falling into the shadow and not learning the lessons, bad. Thursday, December 12th. Take a breath. Remember to exhale. Repeat the process. Friday the 13th, we have the moon entering Taurus, and there's something else. Is there? Yeah, there's some things. And everybody gets in a panic. Friday the 13th, this is bad. Look, the only reason Friday the 13th is bad is if you're a Knights Templar, because Friday the 13th wasn't a bad day prior to that slaughter of the Knights Templar. Basically, there was a French king who owed the Knights Templar a lot of money, and he told the Pope that, hey, these Knights Templar are trying to undermine your authority. Let me kill them off, and I'll take all their money and give it to the land, and we'll give it to the church. The Pope went along with it and bought the lie. He got himself out of debt, and the church got a lot of land, not in a good way either. So the only reason Friday the 13th is bad is if you're a member of the Knights Templar. But here we have the moon, emotional self in Taurus, looking for peace, looking for stability, and also strength. Because remember, Taurus is the bull, emotional strength. Calm. If you want to understand Taurus, read the book Ferdinand the Bull. It's a children's story. in the middle of the bull ring with everybody shouting at him and prodding at him and trying to provoke him into like it being violent. He just sat there and chewed his cud and wanted to smell the flowers. So this is a time for a little bit of emotional P and Q because you need it. So remember that. You have your uptime, you have your downtime, all things in moderation. So do take time to relax, calm down, tune into yourself and what brings you peace. Find quiet time when you can. So this is the important, reminding you the importance of taking a break when you need to. Now the shadow. Shadow, the Taurus can be stubborn, it can be inflexible. It can also be the proverbial bull in the china shop. If you thought the moon in Aries was explosive, moon in Taurus, when that temper blows, it's like a stick of dynamite with a long wick. When it goes big. So be careful here. So being stubborn and flexible can be exhausting, wipe you out emotionally, and having that explosive temper can really be damaging. So do be careful of that. And Friday the 13th, Mercury retrograde in Scorpio will trine Mars retrograde in Cancer. So reflecting on how you're learning and communication, is that helping you take care of yourself and giving you the strength and courage to take care of yourself? You're digging deep here. And Scorpio is about that depth of knowledge. And you can look at it as psychology. You look at psychology, psychotherapy, things like that. Different types of analyses like that is what you're learning, helping you nurture and care for yourself. And it's this trying, so this is an easy opportunity, easy energy to work with. So let's see. Reflect on how you're expressing your needs to others and also how your knowledge is challenging you and how you can respond to it more thoughtfully and use it and communicate your needs as well. Like I said, the shadow of Mercury in Scorpio, this is looking so getting so lost in the details that you can't see the forest through the trees. It's also refusing to look at all. You're not even wanting to look, not even wanting to learn, just going for shallow, superficial. And we all know, and I said that Mars in Cancer was about being defensive, fearful and defensive, and whether it comes out as anger and being snippy and taking swipes at people, or the other side of the shadow is wanting to be invisible and pulling back into your shell and hiding. So it's not wanting to learn and communicate and wanting to hide, or using psychology and what have you as a weapon and taking swipes at people. And if you're doing that, you're hurting yourself. And how are you hurting yourself? So let's see, what do I have? Relying on an all talk and no walk can leave you feeling isolated and tired. Also, getting lost in details can cause you want to pull back and hide out from all the confusion. So you can really proverbially get yourself lost in here badly. And Saturday, if you're like I said in the introduction, if we were going to have a busy day and a power day, it was going to be Saturday. And first of all, Mercury moves station direct. So Saturday, Sunday, Monday. If you're feeling a little mentally stuck, this is why. And it's okay, it's going to pass. Station retrograde means standing still. So this is a moment to take a breath and take a break. So Mercury, you're learning and communication. I wouldn't push myself too hard if I were you. I'd just pay attention, be present. And in Scorpio, depth. What is the information around you? Pay attention to what's going around you. Not necessarily with the intention of acting, but by paying attention and taking in the information and being aware and looking deeply into it as well. How it is December and I have a fly flying around my house. Life happens. So it's that type of time. So let's see, reflecting on your learning communication, especially depth, especially I also put taboo topics. Scorpio can be those taboo topics, those things that we don't talk about in polite company. Nobody wants to play with the parkour kid today. Sad. Also look at you as seeing if you're communicating honestly with yourself and your others. Are you communicating your needs? Taking time for deeper focus can be good. Remember to do that. So looking at your needs, etc., all can be a good thing. And the shadow, Mercury can be a know-it-all or can't learn it all. And in Scorpio can get itself lost so fast it's not funny. Let's see, what do I have right here? Avoiding hurting yourself and with thinking about missed opportunities or truths that you're not ready to accept, or digging into topics that are not appropriate for your intellectual needs at this time. Pay attention to what you are getting. Pay attention to when you're getting too lost in details as a distraction from learning. So wherever you found yourself lost, means you're going too deep, step back and just look to see, is it an appropriate topic. The best way to use retrograde periods and stuff is look to see the house that's falling in, and that's really where the focus, that's the strongest focus. Let's see what else is going on. Oh yeah, Saturday. I said today was going to be, the Saturday was going to be the power day. Pluto enters Capricorn, and Pluto is a, I know people who are all disaster about Pluto. Pluto is the planet of transformation, and I do say planet. I haven't said this in a long time, so I'm going to. You'll never hear me call Pluto a dwarf planet. It is a planet. It's pretty big size. It has an atmosphere. Unlike some of the other quote unquote dwarf planets, it actually is spherical. Some of them are just chunks of rock. Pluto is a sphere. It has an atmosphere. It has 5 moons, for crying out loud. How's Mercury a planet without any moons, you know? And if you read Velikovsky, Venus is actually a comet that got trapped in an orbit. Okay, I'm off on a tangent. But nonetheless, you will always hear me calling Pluto a planet. All hail Pluto. So Pluto is a planet of transformation and doing, and in Capricorn, this is the time of doing that deep transformational work. When it was in Sagittarius, it was transforming your belief systems. Now we're going to transform those belief systems. We're going to do something with them. So this period of Pluto walking through Capricorn is about doing that work of transformation, doing that deep work of change, changing you. That's the important thing here. Let's see. Learn that change takes work, effort. Yeah, it is. It is a great work. Learn what helps you to focus and achieve success as well. I just want to pull something out. I want to pull out my cheater notes. Oops. Capricorn. I feel like I'm missing something here. I feel like I'm missing something in Capricorn. Yeah, you're doing the great work. Yeah, you're doing those great work. So it's doing transformation by doing the great work, working on the great work of your life, and transforming and building yourself and learning your integrity and learning what your integrity is and doing it and knowing that it's going to take self-discipline, knowing it's going to take hard work. Yeah, nothing in life. Sometimes things in life can be easy, but sometimes they're really challenging, and it can be. Capricorn, if you do the work, rewards you greatly. Ruled by Saturn, that's kind of the way that ball bounces. So yeah, there we go. So learn, yeah. And in the shadow, instead of being, transformational, it's transformational, but it's destructive. Pluto can be destructive and nihilistic, bitter and pessimistic, and in Capricorn, it can be this control freak. You're trying to control others, and it's a disaster in the making. And trying to change others instead of yourself, or looking at the entire process instead of the next step, can feel overwhelming, lead you to frustration and fatalistic attitudes, and to feeling defeated. So if you're feeling defeated, ask, are you trying to change yourself or others, or are you looking at too much instead of the next step? That's the best way to work with Pluto and Capricorn. And it's going to be here a good number of years. And it's going to go retrograde a few times. So this is going to be a good time of deep transformation. And as a reminder, and I really messed up this drawing, so I'm going to redraw it here. I was going to redo, okay, I'm going to do a different color so we can actually see it. Can I make that bigger? There we go. No, that's not what I want. It really is a sextile and should look like that. I don't know if you can see that too well. But it is a sextile. But Pluto, Capricorn, doing the work of transformation. And the North Node in Pisces is about being present and in the moment with your evolutionary intention. A key way to work with this is to, let me go back to my pen, put that in back in red, is to know where the North Node is in your natal chart. So start with step one. What's the North Node in my natal chart? So what's my evolutionary intention? Number two, North Node in Pisces. How am I being present with that? Very important thing to know, and so that you can do that work effectively. And then and Pluto in Capricorn is doing the work, and this is a waning sextile. So as you're doing the work, you're releasing what's keeping you away from that intention, evolutionary purpose, and releasing what's keeping you out of the present moment. Okay, let's see, what do I have written here? Transformation happens through doing the work and by being present. Yeah, I was writing this up when I found out that my friend passed on. So this part of the, out of it kind of gets, I really want to work on that more, and I'll have to do a full blog post on that Saturday. But that's Saturday or Sunday. Probably Saturday is better. Have to do that. But it's, Pluto North Node is about doing that work of transforming and becoming more in line with your life's purpose. And you can accomplish your life's purpose best by being present and in the moment. And that's one of the lessons of Pisces, transcending all this other stuff and learning to be present. I think that's there. In the shadow, we talked about that, how Pluto can be destructive, nihilistic, why bother, and just being control freak of others. And the North Node in Pisces can be ignoring your purpose. So, and it can also be you trying to like control people and tell them how to achieve their purpose, which would be a disaster in the making, because you don't know how to help other people, achieve their purpose. And if they don't ask, don't give them advice that they don't want. So be careful becoming bitter and cynical about the effort of transforming and getting lost in meaningless pursuits. Being a control freak is a meaningless pursuit. So, okay, let me clean this, do all those drawings up, close that out. So yeah, there you go. So if Saturday feels really intense, that's why. You've got Mercury going station direct, so you can mentally feel kind of in a fog. You've got Pluto entering Capricorn, wanting to do transformational work, and it's in a sextile to the North Node, which is your intent, life's purpose. So if you're feeling a little confused, it's okay. Sunday, and this happens early in the morning on Sunday, I believe. We have we have the full moon in Taurus. Now we have the sun in Ophiuchus, so that's healing your ego, healing your core identity. And the moon is in Taurus, finding emotional strength. So, and this is balance, or in opposition is a balance or reflection. So how is healing your core identity giving you emotional strength and emotional stability? I think that's the best way to look at this full moon. What else did I write on that? Reflect on how quiet time can be healing and stabilizing. Find quiet time and enjoy it. So that can be a very healing as well. Are you reflect on that? Are you taking your quiet time? And how that can be healing, and how can healing yourself be stabilizing? I still like that. I still think that's a great way of looking at it, because Ophiuchus is about healing and Taurus is about peace, strength, and stability. Falling into the shadow, we have this ego that's wounding itself and wounding other people, and then you have emotionally, you're in Taurus. It's either being lazy or it's being that bull in a china shop. So it's just, and the opposition here becomes a tug of war. Too lazy to do the healing and not want to, or being that bull in a china shop and just wounding people. It's a bad thing to happen. So let's see what I have written here. Playing to victory or becoming lazy can lead to deeper wounds, feelings of dissatisfaction, feeling unhappy, and then just taking it out. Bad thing. And later on Sunday, we have the moon entering Gemini. Okay, I can answer that in a moment. So we have the moon entering Gemini. So now this is going to be the waning cycle. So we're releasing things. So Gemini is about learning communication. So you're releasing things that lessons or that are no longer suiting you, or releasing information and ideas that do not fit with your life's purpose, do not fit with you emotionally. Let me go back to my notes here. Yeah. My notes here say, let go of what no longer interests you. Know that new ideas and information is needed. So it's a little mental cloud house cleaning here, a little emotional house cleaning as well. It's about releasing old, outdated ideas so you can get new ideas and information. Shadow and moon, we said, is an emotional wreck, being moody or whatever. And then in Gemini, Gemini is like a chipmunk on speed, if you can picture that. Just all over the place and hopelessly distracted and lost. So being distracted or unfocused leaves, gotta get this image out of my mind. I don't know where this stuff comes from sometimes, honestly. I don't. Being distracted or unfocused leaves you feeling lost and unfulfilled. And being distracted, it's being emotionally distracted and emotionally lost. That's where that goes. So there you go. That's where we end on Sunday. So we are in December, closing in on the end of 2024. This means we're coming up in 2025. I'm doing this plug here. I'm getting exactly nothing for doing this. I think that this is a great idea. My friend Rio Larmon, she makes this a true sidereal planner. You go out, you buy these planners, and you look and you see all the full moon and stuff, and it's all done in tropical astrology. It tells you full moon, new moon, first, but it's not telling you which one. She sat down and did all this hard work of figuring out where, when you're looking at it, the sun enters what sign on what day. So you're aware of that. I believe that's in there. But the moons, what the moons are accurately. So it's the full moon in whatever. And she makes a true sidereal planner that way, which is incredibly powerful. There is the linktree./priestess.press. She has it available immediate for in a PDF that you can download it right away and print it off and be ready to roll. She also has a print version, so you can order it. It'll get printed, and it's the pictures that I saw on her Facebook page. It's not one of those, and I hate to call them cheap plastic bindings, but it looks like good quality metal rings binding it. So this is a durable planner that she's got going. So I do recommend that. I'll try to remember to put the link in the in the description. But you get yourself a good planner, and she's got a journal and everything in there, so you can write things down and reflect as well. So really, really powerful. But do follow me on social media: Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. That's where you'll find information and posts. And remember, these people are making billions of dollars off your data, and unless you meet certain criteria, they ain't sharing any of that with you. And if they are, they ain't sharing much, honestly. There's an alternative. It's called Digital Soul Space, run by the Mighty Networks. Privacy first. It's a troll-free zone. There are 3 moderators: Michael, Kimber, and Anne Marie. They do a great job of keeping it a safe place. You'll find 13 sign astrology on there. You will find people with crystals, oracle decks, tarot, different pagan and practices and what have you. All different forms of spirituality. It's a great place to go spend time, share. It's just an incredible place to be, really friendly. My site reminder, I actually have that up this time. Boom. There we go. So working on there, there's my site. And the keys, the first set of keys, understand your birth chart. That's your birth contract. This is your end of life. Did I achieve this? Because if you did, you got it. Those are your lessons. Past life reading or a karmic reading. Every time they call me a karmic astrologer, I really appreciate that. If you believe in past lives, I can tell you the past life that you came here to heal and how to heal it. If you're a one and done, you came here to learn a special lesson, I can tell you what that is and what that lesson is and how you can learn it. Quick pick combines them both. Second set of keys is understanding your own horoscope, and I do different horoscopes. Life cycle, which looks at the outer planets aspecting just themselves. It's a pullout from the yearly horoscope, and I really go deep. It's very powerful. I can do the yearly, and it doesn't have to be January 1st through December 31st. We can do it when from whatever starting to ending point you want. I have a friend of mine, I'm getting ready to do it, who's a Native American. He's First Nations, indigenous to Turtle Island, and their beginning of their year is the midwinter solstice. So I can do it there, whatever. I have a friend who I do it for. Their year begins on their birthday. So I do yearly. I can do a 3-month, and I do monthly. For monthly, I can do first of the month, the end of the month. I prefer to do it ancient, new moon to new moon, because that's the natural cycle. So I do horoscopes, and I got packages that combine different readings together. Built-in 10% discount there. If you click on subscribe, give me an email. You get a once-a-week newsletter. Click on sign up. You get summary of the major events, an insight for the week, exclusive subscriber-only discounts, offers, information on live events, etc. Click on blog, and you get my blog. And honestly, I'm looking for a new career because the one I have is keeping me from doing my. I'm so wiped out when I get out of there that I can't. I'm just having a hard time writing. So I've got a lead on some stuff, so hopefully it works out well, because I do want to get back to posting those blog posts. But this is where you'll find those. And then click on scheduling or services. This is where you can order your, I've got to work on this some more, fix some of these things up, but this is where you can also schedule readings. You can do it through scheduling. You can do it through services. I do have to work with someone and fix this up. But basically, when you do a reading with me, what you get is you get a recording. I start with a recording. You watch it, take your notes, and then when we get together for your time, you're asking me questions and seeking clarification on that so that you get a better understanding of your reading. Rather than wasting your time sitting there listening to me talk at you and fighting to get a question because I want to get through everything, I do a recording, and then your time is the Q&A session. So yeah, I've got one I've got to finish up, actually. So there we go there. Let's get back here. So do follow, join the Digital Soul Space. It is free. They do ask donations periodically. So thank you. Like, follow, share, sign up for the newsletter. And like I said, I apologize for this being late, but work has taken a chunk out of me, and it's really leaving me exhausted. And I did find out that a friend of mine passed on, and I'm still dealing with that. It was quite a shock, honestly. So thank you very much for your patience and your understanding. I really do appreciate it. Remember, in the visible sky, your life changes. Have yourself the best week possible.